Welcome to National Khabar. I'm Shweta Ranjan, and today we have with us Ravichandra Kulur, regarded as the flute maestro by the sitar legend Pandit Ravi Shankar. His repertoire of playing South Indian ragas combined with fast fingering techniques and rhythmic structure, complemented by mellifluous melodies, is well appreciated. He has collaborated with world music, Celtic, Western classical, and timeless fusion jazz. Let us welcome Ravichandra Kulur on the show today.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Hi, how are you?
Namaste. Very, very good. Nice to meet you.
So you are basically a touring musician. How is the time treating you? Because 1,200 concerts and so many countries, and then you are suddenly bound here.
I know it's not easy at all. Originally, we had a very, very packed schedule between March and September this year, but it looks like most of the period is now wiped out for various, we all know the reason. And yes, what to do? So we have to trying to utilize this time in a very positive way, teaching online workshops and online interviews like this, and meeting fantastic people online and stuff like that. It's not easy, but it's different, I would say.
So you must also be missing on the cuisines from around the world.
At heart, I'm always a South Indian foodie.
Okay.
But having said that, I enjoy any vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, so any vegetarian food around the world,
So does a flautist like you also know how to cook?
Absolutely. If you want to be a successful touring musician, you need to take care of cooking as well. You need to know a little bit at least, manage yourself. But you never know what kind of circumstances you will be. Sometimes places.
Have you ever been caught in such a situation where you had to cook yourself during your
many times now? So I'm now well prepared. I have a small masala package in my suitcase. If I don't get anything, I can just buy some vegetable in local shop and then rice and make myself well fed.
Right.
Initially, I started touring in 1997. In those days, there was absolutely no concept of vegetarian food around the world. Now the vegetarian is becoming big.
Right.
So initially, it was very difficult. People would not understand what is vegetarian. How can you survive just by eating some leaf?
I am a pure vegetarian. I have done that when I travel, but then I manage. I enjoy whatever I get. I enjoy.
Correct. But now the world has changed. Thankful. You have a lot of options around the world.
So did you, because you had a long association and collaboration, not collaboration, I should say, you were a kind of student under Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, though you were there as a musician with him on the stage.
Correct.
But did your personality also change, your outlook towards life when you toured so much with him?
Absolutely. It's the whole association of mine with Guruji. I would, he's also my Guruji. It's very interesting how it all started. I think 2005, when he was planning a tour with young musicians of India, he was looking different instrument list, and I was one of the chosen one. Then he and his wife Chinama, whom we had as Chinama, they both called me to their center in New Delhi. I spent few days, and he interviewed me. Then we practiced, like he taught me a few things. I used to play long hours, and then he said, "Okay, now you will be part of this ensemble." That's how it all started. I had no clue. It was like I had not even dreamt of one day touring with Raviji. And in the meantime, Anushka was also preparing her journey as a solo musician, and it all, one after one, it all happened by me not planning anything. Whereas most of his students, they would have come to him in particularly to learn different ragas, different different tals or different aspects of music from him. But whereas me, it just happened by God's grace.
Right. So let me tell the viewers to send in their comments if they want anything, the musician to talk about, the artist of the day to talk about. And if you have any specific request to make, you can do that too. Currently, we have Meveli Radha Krishna ji with us. And
Naival is a very good friend of mine. We had some amazing time touring together, along with another dear friend of mine, Sanjeev Shankar, who is a Shana player. See, this was the tour I was mentioning, 2005. We all came together and had the blessings of touring with Raviji.
right. So while we were talking about the cuisine thing, he writes, "What about taco we had at New York?"
Yes, tacos, Chinese food, and so many fun moments we had together. Yes. Hello, Naiveli. Good to hear from you.
So nice to have you here. And please, viewers, like the page, subscribe, because we bring to you such fantastic conversation and interaction with the top class musicians daily. So, anyways, let us move ahead. Can I take you backward to your journey as a musician? As a child, when did you first feel that your love for music initiated?
Yeah. So it was, again, a very interesting journey I have had in my life. My father was a very, like a versatile musician, but that was not his profession. By profession, he was a commerce professor. He was teaching in a college in a small town in the southern part of Karnataka, so what we call as now, Udupi district or South Kendra. So we grew up, we had our childhood days there. It was a small town where there was absolutely no music other than my father, so we had no company. But only thing was we were, my mother and my father were both ardent lovers of music. So the music was running at home all the time, like at least like 5, 7 hours a day. We would listen to different legends. Then he would teach me. Then we would identify, the what is the specialty of each musician, and that's appreciation was throughout the day at home. So this I didn't know this will one day this will impact and I will understand its value. Those time it was just very natural. It was way of life. And then I did my engineering. Then I came to Bangalore looking for a job. I got a job too. And that time, I slowly started realizing that like I have something bigger to do in life than work.
Right. So we
Yeah.
have Sanjeev Shankar with us writing, "Hi Ravi Bhai,
Sanjeev bhai.
I remember the time when you used to carry an electric cooker. Did you do
As
it, Ravi?"
yes. Nowadays, when I go to a country where I'm not sure what kind of food I will get, I take a small, like 0.5 liter, half liter cooker and electric cooker. And as I told you earlier, I can cook upma, I can cook some rice, dal, and a small meal. And we used to share together with Sanju Bhai.
I believe he's a non-vegetarian. So he must not be
But
happy.
yes, but with me, touring with me, like together, he had no choice. Most of the time he had to be a vegetarian.
Right. So you were talking about your journey, how it started. So you did your engineering, and then was music always calling you?
Inside, yes, inside I was always had that music is part of my life. I had to be a musician in life because that is the best thing I can do. Education, as most of the middle class in India, we had to do our education. I did my engineering, so that was like a must to do thing. But this was a natural calling from somewhere else, from above.
Right. So, do you remember of any moment when people had praised you and told you what you're doing, Ravi? Why are you doing engineering? Why don't you become a musician? Any such moment that you would like to share
In
with?
the college days, yes, I used to participate in different competition, different winning trophies for the college and universities. There were appreciations always, but in Bangalore, since it is a much bigger town than where I studied and where I grew up, it's a big city. So when I came here, then I naturally I had some musician friends, and then the recording industry was blooming in Bangalore. There were so multiple recordings happening throughout the day, and they would call me, do you have time, are you done with your work? My work was from 9 to 5. Can you come and do this session? Can you come and do this? So this became more and more, you know so there was a point when I had to either say no to them or think about something else. So they said, and you I can they would always encourage me, you have such beautiful god given talent. You should consider that and take this more seriously than what you're doing, like the job.
So, struggle must have been there to make a place for yourself in the music industry, as you had no such.
Absolutely.
But yet, what was that moment which transformed your journey to become a musician?
Yes, as I told you, when growing up, music was part of our life. My mother, my father, my brother is a very well-known Mridangist, very reputed Mridangist. So it was there at home all the time, and but also studies was also equally important. So we did that. We came to Bangalore and this like that. But initially, when I decided to quit my job in about '99. I quit slowly because there were so many recording opportunities. People used to call me all the time. There were months in a month I would do like 30 recordings in a month. You
Oh
know,
my goodness,
yes, that was the kind of schedule. So initially it was all smooth. Playing as working as a session musician, you had multiple opportunities. You can be busy throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year.
yeah. Exactly.
Okay, yes, but live performance is a different scene altogether.
Yes.
That I didn't imagine it how the industry will be, because there are so many other things. Recording is like you are inside a room, you're with few musicians, and there is a music director. He will tell you what to do. But live is not like that. You need to have it's so many things, so many factors matter.
Multiple takes when you're recording, but on
That
the
is also there. The whole approach is totally different towards the music. But live, you have to be the two Indian music is more about you have to be on the spot, and you have to have the knowledge to play a raga for maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes or maybe an hour. So you should that is different. And also you should have a stage. You should know how to present yourself on stage, and then on top of that you have to leave rest of the things to the God. Even after you have everything else.
you are so lucky to have learned the ability to be presentable on the stage from the legend himself. Uh,
Correct. That way, I was very fortunate. But I actually saw the importance of live presence, or I don't know how the concert planning, concert presenting, only after my association with Ravishankar, legendary sitar maestro. Till then, I was like, I was going and performing wherever people call me. But after that, I knew, oh, this is something else. How the way you present, the music becomes part of your life. It's
that,
not just the profession; it's also the way of life. So many things I only realized and understood and tried implementing only after seeing and being associated with him.
so this is the 100th birth year. To celebrate that, why don't we just start with a tribute to the legend Pandit Ravi Shankarji? Would you like to?
Sure, sure, sure.
Uh,
Sure. He is, as the world knows, he is creator of many, many things. He's the probably the first one to take many South Indian ragas and present it in a totally different style in North Indian concert. And many, many he created, he innovated, he composed, he did so many things. So there is one raga which is very special. It is called Jana Samodhini. Uh, this Anushka, that's probably one of Panditji's favorite raga. He did many pieces in that. And even now Anushka plays this raga very often. It's also one of her favorite raga. Probably I will play a little bit of that. And maybe before that, I will also play a little bit of Charukeshi, which was also one of his favorite ragas. He had composed and presented different bandishas in this raga. So I will play these two ragas for you all.
to pay him a
Just
tribute.
give me a couple of seconds. I will just turn on my Tanpura and make sure everything is all right. And
Yes.
let me know if the Tanpura volume is too loud for you all.
All right.
Hmm?
So we have a viewer, Dinesh Vaidya, writing to us Jan Sambodhini.
What a coincidence. He's also asking me the same thing. Yes,
Yes.
Dinesh, nice to see you. Nice to meet you here. And I'm going to play that raga in a while. So that was Charkeshi.
Very good.
Now, as requested by Dinesh Vaidya, I'll play Janasamadhi. A
Sure.
little bit, something, random improvisation. Uh, um, so we'll try to explore the raga from zero, from scratch.
Glowing, very beautiful.
Thank you, Smitaji. Thank you so much.
So we have a few viewers who are watching you, and they write Raghuram, but by mistake he writes mandate. So in the next message he has written Namaste. So
Namaste.
this is Abhiram.
Yes, Abhiram. Namaste, namaste. How are you?
We have Malini Shastri ji, our regular viewer. Thank you,
Oh,
Malini ji.
really? Nice to meet you, Malini ji.
She doesn't miss a show.
Oh, really? Wow. She must be a big music lover, I think. Very hardcore music lover.
Draksh Singh is with us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Nice to meet you.
We have GV Subramanyam. In live performances, our audiences who are mixed, treating music as a movie, eating and listening. Any comments?
It depends on the circumstances. If it is a very casual performance, like an outdoor event or a corporate event, or like a for a free event where people can come, watch, then go, then yes, people don't value it as much as a ticketed show. They come, it's music is one of the many things which they come there for. But whereas on an audience, indoor audience, seated with ticketed show, people come with discipline. They come there, they come with a purpose to listen and probably grab some good vibes from the
And
concert.
I believe most of these big auditoriums, eating is not allowed even inside the auditorium.
Instead, yes, not at all, not at all.
So it depends on the purpose for which the event is being organized. Right?
Correct, absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
Anywhere, even in Europe, there are many outdoor festivals. Which when they serve liquors, they serve food. People come with family, but also there are many wonderful venues where people come for very focused and come, sit, discipline. So it is everywhere in the world. It is depends on the circumstances.
we have Priya Sapna Jongle Lock.
Hello, Priyaji. Namaste.
She writes, when and where was your first performance, G? And can you play the first piece you ever performed?
That's a very hard idea. I don't remember what was that. My first performance, initially I used to perform with my father, who was also busy as a flautist, concert flautist. So in South India, it's mostly those days. It was more in family functions, events like wedding or temple functions. Temple will have annual functions and then celebration of music for 10 days. So wherever he used to go, I used to go and accompany him. But before that, I was introduced to music as a percussionist. You know, we used to have a very, very legendary mridangist who came to our small town and had few students, and me and my brother used to learn from him. And then in the small concert, when my brother was playing or someone else was playing, I used to play in a South Indian percussion called Kanjira. This was when I was 8 years. Between 8 years and 12 years, I was more busy as a Kanjira player than the flute player. Yes, yes, yes.
So
Then,
do you now also try your hands on Kanjira?
yes, now also for some projects I keep playing Kanjira, but it's more.
I think I have seen two kept behind you on the right hand side.
Correct,
On the
correct, correct, correct. That's right.
You want to try that out right now?
It's actually it needs a little bit of tuning. Like in the sense, I have to put the water, then allow it for 5 minutes before
I
it is ready.
have informed you. Okay. And we have a renowned Pakhavaj artist, Rishi Shankar Upadhyay, with us.
Hello, Rishiji. Nice to meet you here.
Namaskar, amazing Shweta ji and Ravichandran ji. Pleasure to see you on this beautiful program. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you. Same here.
And while you were playing, Dinesh Vaidya writes, wow, please, bless you. And Malini ji writes, mesmerizing rendition, sir.
Thank you so much. These are the kind words which keeps musicians like me going. This we take it as a blessings and inspirational words or whatever motivating. These are the things which on a daily basis which people.
What else does an artist need except, I think, praises, nothing else?
Yes, absolutely. Good food, as we discussed in the beginning of the show.
Oh,
Good
melodious.
food, good praise and good food.
Yes. G.V. Subramaniam ji writes, beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Rongalok writes, amazing.
thank you very much.
And Ashutosh Shekhar writes, so very beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Raj Lakshmi Acharya writes, excellent.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ram Bhatt ji writes, my salutation to Guruji.
Yes, his son is like Abhiram is learning flute from me. Yes.
And we have Rishi Shankar Upadhyay asking, mesmerizing, can you please play little Mishra Kirwani also?
Okay, I can play Kirwani. I don't know, Mr. I have never tried Mr. Kirwani. Probably I will play a little bit Kirwani in what style? Should I mix a little bit of South Indian and a fusion style? A little bit?
You can express both ways how.
Okay. Okay, I will start with the South Indian way. Then
Okay.
probably I will take it a little bit jazzy.
All right. All right. We can do that. Let me include a few more comments. Ajay Kumar Mohan, a senior captain, he writes lovely. Then please play a few lines of Innu Day Barade, G.V. Subramaniam.
It's also something, I will play a few lines. Fortunately, it's also in a raga which is derived from Kirwani. So I
Okay.
can include all this in one
Dinesh
book.
Vaidyaji writes, this talent is from another planet.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Keep blessing us like this.
Okay, Sanjeev Shankarji, the renowned Shahnai artist, he says, some Kanjira, please, Ravi Bhai. So he wants you to.
Sanjeev bhai, why are you putting me in trouble here? I have played so many times Kanjira for you. Huh?
See, after my request, there is someone else also. Audience, I cannot disappoint. I cannot disappoint the audience.
I've played probably 50 times Kanjira for Sanjeev bhai. I don't know why he has to come here online and ask me to do that when I'm. No, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Okay, so let's start with Mishra Kirwani and then both ways, Carnatic and then Hindustani style.
Okay, Karnataka and a little bit of jazzy style. Kirwani is a very like a flexible raga in that sense. It can be incorporated in many different genres, different styles. Okay. going to a little bit of experimental stuff. Now I will again switch back to traditional style.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice audience. They are in full praises for you.
Thank you. This was, I was trying to, show the difference of different approach.
We have Geeta Rajaram writing, wow, super.
Hello, Ji. Namaste, Ji. Thank you so much.
Nitish, Amanaya, Ravi sir.
Also, one of my senior students is a very good flutist himself.
Madhurani Singh is with us. Very nice. She writes.
Ji, thank you so much.
Devi Subramaniam writes, very innovative. Ilayaraja would love to hear this improvisation.
Hope so. Thank you.
Amit Taheri writes, beautiful Ravichandra Kulur. Happy to hear you play.
Amit is one of my dear friends. He's a fantastic international musician. He's one of the first collaborators. He's the one who opened my eyes towards jazz. He studied in Berklee College of Music, and one of my favorite musicians to collaborate anytime. Now he lives in Los Angeles, mixing both his yoga. He's a big time yoga,
Yes.
into yoga. Yes, so he's mixing yoga and music very well and doing fantastic in Los Angeles.
So nice to have you here, Amit Taheri, on the show.
Amit, yes, you should actually get him for one of the shows. His knowledge. His knowledge is incredible, both in jazz as well as Indian music.
Wow. So Raja Lakshmi Acharya ji is with us. My son Shrikant Acharya is your student.
Yes, Ji, yes.
So there are many more comments. I would be including them, but Rudransh Singh writes, "Kamal hai, Kamal bas Kamal, koti koti naman."
Same here, Ji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So since you displayed to us two different genres, from Carnatic to you switched to jazz and then came back to the South Indian style of playing. So when you switch from one genre to the other, how do you innovate, customize your thought, your instrument, your complete mood?
Yes, the first of all, I think musicians, those who want to collaborate and take this path seriously, like the collaboration part seriously, they should the main one of the first things they should know that it's not just the Western music is not raga based at all. Okay, scale is one of the many parts. It's more about harmonics, it's more about chord progression. It can go very deep where unless you compose music only according to the raga, so you have to develop a taste for that. You have to have the background or keep listening, trying to analyze what is this, and then have, like, I had the opportunity to discuss many aspects of jazz music with people like Amit Hari. you know you should find people to explore this and then gain some knowledge, then try to analyze what is the bridge between these two, and then try to collaborate. That is the best way, or else it will be unidirectional. You can just play ragas and there may be some beats and some raga based chords. That's okay, that's like easy listening collaboration, but you can go deep if you spend more time trying to understand the other form.
So, since you have collaborated with so many genres of music, be it Celtic or jazz and many more, so where do you see Indian music standing?
uh, Indian music is, it's like the Indian cuisine or yoga or the Ayurvedic, or like it's like it takes its own time. But I think like now the world has understood the value of yoga. But when I was growing up in 80s, 90s, it was not big at all. People would not care much about. Now since the Western world has accepted, it's become such huge thing all over the world. And also now India is also doing good to like make it even more mainstream. Similarly, now the Ayurveda, the vegetarian food, it has come a little bit. They will change a little bit. Maybe they will make it vegan. So vegetarian food is now becoming more and more popular. You see more common things. And similarly, the Ayurvedic medicine has come more like a naturopathy, natural medicine in Europe. It's getting popular. Similarly, the Indian music has its own, color, its own essence, which is nowhere in the world. It just needs time for people to trying to understand, accept, and it has much more. It has spiritual quality, whereas different parts of the music, like whether it may be jazz music, or something Celtic music, is more for dance. It's for more for partying, and some may be pop, where Colombian is also in a regional music, the South American music. It has different purposes. Whereas Indian music, raga based, it is very deep and it is spiritual. That the once world knows how to appreciate this spiritual quality of Indian music. I think it's just matter of time before it becomes, the mainstream.
So, how does it become easy to blend the two different complete genres of music, mixing Indian music with jazz, with two different things, two different poles, and then
Yes,
how do
everything. That's what as I tried explaining earlier, the jazz, you need to at least know what is jazz and how does it work, what are the chords, how does it the melodies work. You need to spend time with a suitable musician and trying to analyze. Whereas the Western, the classical, for example, the Mozart or Beethoven, they there, if you take the melodies, it is like it keeps changing the scale. The same melody, for example, there is a melody written by Mozart. It's called Rondo. It's even the melody is like 3 4 lines, which are very very beautiful. But it keeps changing the pitch. So it starts from D, then goes to A, then goes to C. So the music which you want to collaborate with, you should spend time and analyze how does this work.
so did you
The
ever
folk
have
music is Ireland. We has more. It's a completely different. As I told you, it's more about the grooving and partying. But the melodies can be very tough to play on Indian instruments. So you should analyze how does that work. So every region in the world has its own advantages and its own colors, its own nature. You should try spend enough time to understand that and try to produce that on your instrument.
so
Then
which
only.
which genre you have found to be the toughest to collaborate with?
Jazz can be very deep, unless they make it simple. Your collaborator makes it simple. It can be very deep also. So you need to be virtuoso and you need to do many things which Indian musicians are not used to. You have to think outside the scale. As I told, Indian is raga, musician is raga based and scale based, but there it is not like that. So, yes, it's challenging. It's nice.
Okay, so let me include a few more comments and ask the viewers to kindly subscribe, like the page, as you can interact with such lovely musicians on the daily basis every evening at 7 p.m. So we have Pramath Kiran, very
Pramod
prolific.
Kiran is a very dear friend of mine. He's a fantastic musician. He's a versatile musician, composer, sound engineer. He has a studio, and we have done many, many hundreds of shows together. We have a band called Layatharanga, where everyone is a virtuoso, and Pramath is one of the members of Layatharanga. He's like my brother.
How beautiful. So nice to have you here on the show. And we have Shahrukh Usman Dahalvi. He writes एक शायरी लिखते हैं बांसुरी से सीख ले एक नया सबक है जिंदगी दाग सीने में जख्म हो फिर भी गुनगुनाती है बहुत शायराना हो रहे हैं शाहरुख जी
Shukriya, 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 shukriya. Thank you so much. I have no words to explain.
okay and then we have Priya Sapna asking can you please play few lines from Kadanaka
Kadana Kutuhalam.
Tillana
Yeah. Kadana Kutuhalam, very peppy ragam.
okay
It's traditional South Indian raga. And there is a Thillana composed by legendary Balamurali Krishna, one of the greatest musicians of our generation. So I play few lines of that Thillana.
all right.
So this is the raga introduction. Now the composition.
Thank you for playing this, and thank you, Priya Sapna, for asking. And we have Ramachandra Acharya, beautiful Ravi, he writes. And we have Ashutosh Shekhar, he writes, so soothing, relaxing, yet electrifying. Oh my God.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
And we have one request from Malini ji. She writes, Sir, can I expect Jagato Dharana Kirthane?
Okay. Kirtan is nothing but composition. It's a Carnatic composition. So it's a big composition. I will play a few lines of that. It is in a common raga between Hindustan and Carnatic. In Hindustan, they call it as Mishra Pilu. Here it is. Anyway, the approach is different, but the raga is the same. Here we call it as Kapi. It's a big composition, so I just play the first few lines of it.
So beautiful. When you're playing, Ravi, I see there's so many flutes kept behind you in a basket.
Yeah.
So on your right hand side, and how are they different from each other? If the viewers may want to know.
Yeah, flute. I will give a little. Flute is it's actually it's one of the most common instruments which you can find around the world, but not in the same format. The flute we play in India is bamboo. Then you have flutes from South America, which is also made from bamboo. They call it as what pifano. It's a very simple instrument. Then you have flute from Celtic. Then you have Celtic whistles, which is also flute. Then there is a Western classical flute, which is belongs to Baroque period, which is made from wooden and also a little bit of keys. Then there is a flute called recorder flute, which is very popular in recordings and movie recordings. Then the Western classical complicated mechanism flute, which is a cylindrical steel or silver, anything, and with many keys fitted to it, and you can easily play like 3 octaves in that Western classical flute. So it's then there is Japanese flute, which is called shakuhachi. Shakuhachi has a very very deep sound, and the main purpose of that flute is for meditation. Japanese monks, Buddhist monks, one of them will play this in a very slow manner in the deep sound, and other monks they chant on this sound. Then there is Chinese flute, which is very similar to Indian flute, but not so complicated. You don't play so many scales in Chinese flute, but they have a something called as a like a very extra fitting with a thin wrapper. So this wrapper produces a hissing sound, which gives a different tonal quality to that flute. Then we have there is Mongolian flute. Mongolia is also like part of you know
Yeah.
China. So where it is very interesting, they have two pipes here. So one pipe is for the drone, and the second pipe is for playing the melody. So you hear two sounds at the same time. So
Oh.
yes, so as whenever I travel in different parts of the world, it's very fascinating, and it's mind blowing to know that every region in the world has some or other forms of
Collecting
flute.
flutes from different parts of the world.
I do sometimes I do. Then there is a Turkish flute, which is also made from different kinds of bamboo. Indian bamboos are very long, can
Yeah.
produce a great sound. Turkish bamboos are not like that. It is very small. It has branches of small, cuttings. So, but you have to play. It has a mouthpiece, and only when you play this through this mouthpiece in a certain angle, like you have to hold the flute like this, not like this or not like this. You have to hold in an angle, and when you blow through that mouthpiece, then it produces a good beautiful sound. So like this, it's fascinating, it's very interesting.
So
In
we
India, why we have different flutes? This is, for example, I will switch off my tanpura. Okay. For example, now I this is my Carnatic flute in D sharp. So this is the kind of the melodies or gamak which you play in this flute. Whereas now I will go to a big flute, bigger flute. So this is almost double the size of the flute which I played earlier. This is in E scale. So different flute is for different scale. And also this is North Indian flute, whereas this is South Indian flute. The main difference is South Indian flute has totally 8 folds, whereas you use the 7 playing holes. Whereas North Indian flute has 6 holes, and you use all the 6 holes for playing. as you can hear, the tonal quality is different, and the playing style is different, and the pitch is different. So different flutes are for different purposes, and also for any instrumentalist, not just for me. Uh, it's an addiction, to collect the instruments. It's never-ending journey. Whenever you find good flutes, even though I have the same pitch, many flutes, but I still want to have possess that flute. It's like a treasure. So I
Right.
keep buying flutes. And
So
this time I should also mention my flute maker who is from Delhi, you know, Subhash Thakur, a very dear friend of mine. I get all the time custom made flutes from him. I come to his workshops, spend days together with him. Yes, and then we make flutes. And
yes,
even now it is like the biggest possession of my music life.
we have Sukanya Ram Gopalji,
Thank you, Sukaneji. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Keep blessing.
Adam artist, writing beautiful. She's watching
Thank you
you,
so much. Thank you so
and
much.
she also praises me. Namaste, National Khabar is doing good.
Of
Today.
course, of course, of
Thank
course.
you, Sukanyaji. So
India is full of amazing musicians, amazing artists, and people like you do, fantastic by bringing them here and talking to them and
thanks
trying
for
to.
coming.
Yes.
We have Rupa Nayak ji writing, thank you for the beautiful Tiglana.
Thank you, Rupaji. Rupaji is from Philadelphia, and she's a wonderful dancer. She runs a big dance school in Philadelphia, and we work quite often together.
Thank you, Rupa ji, for watching the show and joining us. Lalita Kalkar, can you please play Bindu Malini? She's asking, she has a request.
We have the time. Oh, no, no worries.
We can include that in 2 minutes' time. Thank you. So good, so melodious. But the show, we shall soon be closing the show for the day since we are close to 1 hour already.
I know.
But I don't want to disappoint the viewers, Ravi, and it's really disappointing to know that you're not playing Kanjira.
Other time, I will come with some of my friends and I will play for you all. As I told you, it
Your,
needs little bit
your,
refreshing, bit of
your friend
tuning.
is requesting, can you just try it?
It needs tuning though.
That means you do not practice it.
No, no, tuning in the sense every time when you have like a performer, Kanjira artist will have like three, four Kanjiras on stage. So he needs to sprinkle the water to get the bass sound. If you leave it for like 10 minutes, the bass will become high. So that is the tradition. So without tuning, it won't sound the same. You don't get that bass sound. But anyway, I'll play just a minute or so.
But you need to hold it a little higher because it's getting hidden. Yeah, if that is possible for you.
So I'm sorry, it is not the same without the tuning. When you put the water, it
Oh,
becomes
but
bass, and it's much more beautiful to listen to.
beautiful, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
And thank you, Ravi, for joining on the show. It is really amazing to have you here with us.
Exactly, likewise, the feelings is mutual.
The evening certainly has become beautiful, melodious, full of music. Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you. Very nice talking to you all. I wish you all the best.
I would just make one request, firstly to the viewers to stay connected with us by liking the page. And if I have not been able to include any of your messages, please don't feel disappointed. Time is a barrier. And Raviji, if you could please, individually, if you could see and want to reply, uh,
Yeah, I'll do that.
later on, if you could do that. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. You're most welcome. I really had a good time. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. So that's all for today, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the evening. And let me tell you about the artist that we are going to have tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Shweta Sabram with us, a playback singer. You must have heard her in the movie Hawaii Zada, which has, in the movie, Ayushmann Khurrana has acted. And stay connected. You can watch the brilliant performance tomorrow by Shweta Sabram. Take care. Bye-bye.